On Osrc News at 7, Ondo Election Petitions Tribunal opens as Governor Ayedatiwa expresses confidence in justice. Ondo State Government appeals for rent to strike as nurses ground healthcare services. Kaduna Governor releases seized $548 million to resolve teachers' union disputes. And from the foreign scene, Trump seeks to reassert U.S. control over Panama Canal as Secretary of State embarks on inaugural trip. Good evening. Thank you for joining us on Osrc News at 7. My name is Oduayo Soya. And we begin tonight's news with the Ondo State Election Petitions Tribunal, which has commenced its inaugural sitting at the State High Court in Akure, addressing petitions filed by three major political parties: the Social Democratic Party, SDP, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and the African Democratic Congress, ADC. The tribunal has been established to review allegations of electoral irregularities and disputes arising from the November governorship election. Present at the tribunal were key political figures, including Ondo State Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa and his deputy, Olayide Adelami. The governor, who was declared the winner of the election, faces challenges from candidates of the SDP, PDP, and ADC, who are contesting the legitimacy of the election results. Meanwhile, Ondo State Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa has expressed confidence in the governorship election petitions tribunal sitting in Akure, the state capital, to serve justice. Governor Ayedatiwa, who described his presence at the court as a learning process, said the role of the judiciary in the sustenance of the democratic process cannot be overstated. The governor noted that his victory in all the 18 local government areas of the state was a true reflection of the people's will. Government House correspondent Wahab Bankole provides more insights on the court's proceedings.
Court 2 of the Ondo State High Court in Akure was the venue of the inaugural session of the Election Petition Tribunal. The tribunal was established to address petitions arising from the November 16, 2024 governorship election, which saw Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa of the All Progressives Congress, APC, declared winner by INEC. The session was attended by members of the bar and the bench, political associates, and top government functionaries, including Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa and his deputy, Olayide Adelami. The three-man panel was led by Justice Benson Ogbu, while Justice Darabu Sikam and Justice Imelda Etiakwe are members. The session began with preliminary hearings on complaints filed by opposition parties and candidates who allege electoral irregularities during the election. Political stakeholders are seeking legal redress regarding issues such as the conduct of the election and official declaration of results. Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa, who was the candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC, in the election, expressed confidence in the members of the tribunal to serve justice. The governor, who appealed to his supporters and members of his party to remain calm while the legal battle lasts, noted that his victory in all the 18 local government areas of the state was a true reflection of the people's will.
When I ran for House of Representatives, I attended all the tribunal sessions. When I was deputy governor, I attended the entire session from the tribunal to the appeal court to the Supreme Court. So it's nothing new to me. It's like a normal thing. Like I said, I just want to address what is happening, and the discussion. It's like analyzing the election that has been won already. I want to see where, it's just for, it's a learning process to see, okay, if the people have decided to vote for a candidate of their choice, and the result is a record-breaking result that never happened before. come to the tribunal, I want to listen. I want to know what is happening.
3 political parties, including the SDP, ADC, and the PDP, are challenging the outcome of the November 16, 2024 governorship election. The tribunal has adjourned sitting till the 10th of February 2025.
The commencement of this legal battle is a testament to the relevance of the judiciary towards the promotion of the democratic process, as all hands are now on deck. From the High Court in Akure, Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
Moving on to the national scene, and the federal government has unveiled plans to deliver 100,000 social housing units aimed at vulnerable groups across the 774 local government areas. Minister of Housing and Urban Development Ahmed Dangiwa announced the initiative during the 4th edition of the Real Estate Future Forum in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, emphasizing the vast opportunities within Nigeria's housing sector for global investors. Dangiwa highlighted Nigeria's significant housing deficit, estimated at 28 million units, as both a challenge and an opportunity for transformative investment. He encouraged potential investors to engage with the Renewed Hope Cities and Estates program, which is designed to facilitate large-scale housing delivery through public-private partnerships and innovative financing solutions. The minister noted that despite the real sector contributing approximately 5.2% to Nigeria's GDP in 2024, there remains a pressing need for affordable housing solutions. He outlined government efforts to address affordability issues by introducing incentives such as low-interest financing and bankable off-take guarantees to attract investment in affordable housing projects. And President Bola Tinubu says the positive results reports on Nigerians in the diaspora would inspire the younger generation to imbibe values that enhance the nation's image. Tinubu made a statement while receiving letters of credence from the High Commissioner of Canada to Nigeria, Pascal Salvaggio, and the High Commissioner of Sierra Leone, Dr. Julius Sandy, at the State House in Abuja. The President lauded Nigeria's accomplishments abroad, describing them as an inspiration to many. At another meeting with the High Commissioner of Sierra Leone, President Tinubu affirmed that Nigeria's interest in developing the West Coast and Africa remained a priority. He stated that Nigeria's decades-long investment in Sierra Leone had contributed to Africa's progress and promoted bilateral relations. We'll take a short break on the Osrc News at 7. Please stay with us.
It's the Glow Festival of Joy, and it's raining exciting prizes. Oh, for 120 days, we take it to the max. Mind-blowing, loaded prizes. Take John, winning a tear rubber Toyota Prado by recharging up to 100,000 naira. And Sister T, winning a Cha-Cha Kia Picanto by recharging up to 50,000 naira.
Yes, the gifts are unloading all over Nigeria.
From Toyota Prados to Kia Picantos, Keke Napets, generators, sewing machines, and even grinding machines. Just dial *611#, choose your prizes, recharge the value for the month, and you too can win.
Whoa, you too can win, oh!
You're still watching Osrc News at 7. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook at Osrc TV and on YouTube. You can subscribe to our channel Osrc TV Ondo. The first day of the industrial action embarked upon by the Ondo State Council of National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives has left patients and their relatives reeling from the impact. Ondo State government has described the strike as baseless following earlier talks with the union on its demands, urging the nurses to return to their duties. Osrc's Zahid Aribisala reports that the government's efforts to engage the union after the strike call has proved abortive. The report.
A statement released on January the 30th by the Ondo State Council of the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives set the tone for an indefinite strike of its members across all government hospitals. The morning after, the effect of the statement began to manifest with the withdrawal of the nurses and midwife services at various hospitals, including here at the University of Medical Sciences Teaching Hospital. Nurses available at the premises are management staff who are rallying to save the day.
The announcement was made yesterday through the chairman of the union that there will be strike today, and people have been observing it. They are observing the strike between the management and the HNS. I was here just to look and to see to things and to make arrangements about our hospital.
The demands of the striking nurses, among others, include the payment of the balance of January 2025 salary with a 100% new salary table.
They are talking about their remuneration, that the salary is nothing to write home about. Even every month there is reduction. The tax is too much. It's on high side, the tax. And also they are fighting about their conversion and their implementation of that conversion.
Dr. Ajayi is in full work mode, attending to accident and emergency patients without the usual aid he receives from supporting nursing staff.
Now that the nurses are on strike, it's a lot of stress for we doctors because we have to see the patients, write the forms for them, collect samples, put them on the ward, admit them, to give them IV fluids, and all of those things. It's really overwhelming. But because we love Ondo State people, we still keep doing our best to ensure that we deliver best of care to them.
For patients and their relatives, the impact has also already been felt, urging the government and the union to reach a resolution.
This morning I heard that the nurses are on strike. And because of that, they couldn't attend to when they are on strike now, they say indefinite. That will be too bad, and it will tell much on the patient here. And if there's nobody to attend to them, it can lead to death. If someone that can still survive, if they attend to him or her on time, he will still survive.
The Ondo State Head of Service, Mr. Bayo Philip, who maintained that industrial action is baseless, explained that government had dialogued with the union on their demands with positive considerations.
We are calling on them to immediately call off the strike. The main plank is the issue of cohes. This cohes, that is the salary table for health workers. You will recall that in November, we started the implementation of a new minimum wage in Ondo State. It did not exclude anybody. We sat together and we agreed. In November it was paid. In December it was paid. Early January, they came up with the idea that they want to take full cohens. And then we discussed together. And of course, even part of what they did not ask for, we added it to them. But because it came up mid-January, there is no way January salary could have accommodated it. The issue was placed before Mr. Governor, and Mr. Governor was positive about it. He requested for detailed computation. That had just been concluded yesterday. But that in itself shouldn't have constituted enough ground for us to delay January salary.
Mr. Phillips said the government maintains an open-door policy with various unions, revealing that the leadership of the State Council of National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives have gone incommunicado since declaring the strike.
I called them to a meeting this afternoon. Other health workers were here, but the nurses, we could not even reach them. The point is that we have a due process for declaring industrial action. They have not complied. Before now, we were on talking times. Why then should they all of a sudden make themselves unavailable?
Osrc's attempt to reach the association's chairman, Mr. Felix Orobode, for comments proved abortive, with his phone number switched off. The question remains, how soon will a resolution to the strike be reached for patients to get the needed succor? Sahid Arabisala, Osrc News.
In another development, the Nigerian Union of Journalists and Ondo State Chapter has expressed satisfaction with the ongoing repositioning of Osrc Orange FM Media Group. In a communique issued at its monthly congress, the union commended the Director General, Chief Executive of the stations, Mr. Kenneth Odishola Stevenson, and encouraged him to sustain the good work he started. The union also applauded Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa for ensuring successful and peaceful conduct of local government election held recently across the state after many years of not having elected council buses. It called on the government to hit the ground running in areas of infrastructural development, especially at the grassroots. The union, however, noted that workers of Owena Press, publisher of the Hope newspaper, are yet to be captured in the 73,000 naira minimum wage approved by Governor Aiyedatiwa for the state workers. It called on the governor to urgently intervene to ensure that workers in the publishing outfit benefit from the new minimum wage regime to cushion the economic hardship in the country. And Nigerians can finally breathe a sigh of relief as the price of onions, which recently soared to unaffordable levels, is gradually decreasing. Residents of Akure have confirmed this positive trend, expressing hope for a return to more reasonable prices for this essential commodity. Our reporter, Omoriola Obeji, has details.
Onion prices, which skyrocketed in late 2024, forced many Nigerians to seek alternatives. By December, a bag of onions had soared to between 250,000 naira and 270,000 naira, compared to just 70,000 naira to 90,000 naira in previous months. This drastic increase forced many households to seek alternatives for their meals, leading to widespread frustration among consumers.
Àlùbọ́sà wọn lágbára o. Bẹ́ẹ̀ mi mọ̀ bóyá tán bá gbé ní sáìdì ọ̀dọ̀ wa bí ó lè wà òkè. Bẹ́ẹ̀ àlùbọ́sà tí wọ́n jù o. Èmi báyìí tó wáyé pé tó mo bá fẹ́ ṣe ọbẹ̀, eléyìí tó yẹ kí n fi mẹ́ta sí màá rárá fi ẹyọ kan sí.
It affects us seriously. I cannot say only me, everybody. Because this onion that you are seeing here, before you will buy this one like 1,000, but now it's 5,000. You know it's not easy.
Recent reports from residents of Akure confirmed the downward trend in onion prices, sparking hope for better days ahead.
Want it to continue like this, or even want it to go down more than this, so that everybody will be able to buy it, because then people are not able to purchase it because of the high cost of the onions. So now it's getting down. Now everybody can afford it. Now everybody can buy it. So we are happy.
Many are calling on the state government to support local farmers in cultivating onions to ensure consistent availability and affordability of this essential commodity.
A lè gbẹ́ o, kò sí nǹkan tá a lè gbẹ́ mọ́ báyìí nípínlẹ̀ Ondo State. Ìgbà tó jẹ́ pé tẹ́lẹ̀ a rí gbẹ́ tomato àti ń gbẹ́ báyìí, cucumber, watermelon. Àwa náà tí a bá rí ibi tí àwọn ìjọba wa tó ti lè sọ́pọ́tì àwọn àgbẹ̀ láti lè fún wọn ní ilẹ̀ láti ṣe nǹkan tó ṣe táwọn náà gbẹ àwa náà lè ṣe.
The vice chairman of the Association of Onion Sellers in Ondo State, Sani Ali, confirmed that improved supply has contributed to the price reduction.
But the time we do December, I sell like 300,000. But now, it don't come down. I go sell like 150, 140, one bag. But it don't come down small. That's all.
He said increased production and better market conditions are essential for stabilizing prices further. There is optimism that collaboration between the state government and local farmers through the Ministry of Agriculture will enhance onion production, as such efforts could help prevent future price surges and ensure that onions remain accessible for all Nigerians. As the situation evolves, consumers are hopeful that ongoing support for local agriculture will lead to sustainable pricing and availability of onions in the markets. Omoriola Humbiji, OSRC News.
The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has announced the postponement of the 2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination UTMA registration to Monday, February 3, 2025. Initially scheduled to begin today, January 31, the delay is intended to allow JAMB to implement necessary adjustments to its registration template. Public Communication Advisor Fabian Benjamin explained that the postponement is a response to recent developments, including the suspension of law programs at several Nigerian universities and the discovery of deceptive practices by some computer-based test centers. These issues, he said, necessitated further scrutiny and corrections before the registration process could proceed smoothly. JAMB has expressed regrets for any inconvenience this change may cause to prospective candidates and stakeholders, assuring them that the additional time will enhance the registration experience. Kaduna State Governor Uba Sani has announced the immediate release of 548 million naira to the Nigerian Union of Teachers End Well Fund, resolving a long-standing industrial dispute with the union. This fund had been withheld by the previous administration, and its release marks a significant step towards improving relations between the teachers' union and the state government. Acting Executive Secretary of the Kaduna State Universal Basic Education Board, Mubarak Mohammed, explained that the release follows extensive negotiations aimed at addressing the concerns of teachers regarding their welfare and financial support during service and retirement. As part of the agreement, all legal disputes related to the NUT Endwell Fund will be dropped, allowing the NUT to manage the fund independently. In response to the fund's release, NUT Chairman Ibrahim Danhatu expressed gratitude to Governor Sani, noting that the financial support will significantly improve teachers' welfare in Kaduna State. And the Director General, National Youth Service Corps, Brigadier General Yusuf Ahmed, says Corps members would start receiving the new monthly allowance of 77,000 naira this February 2025. Ahmed, while addressing the 2024 Batch C Stream 2 Corps members in Katsina, said the allowance has been captured in the 2025 federal government's budget. He explained that the 77,000 naira monthly allowance was approved by the federal government and urged the Corps members to reciprocate the government's gesture during the service year. The NYCDG emphasized his commitment to the welfare and security of Corps members across the country, assuring them that they would not be deployed to security threat communities for their service. The Nigerian military has reported significant success in its counter-terrorism operations in January 2025, neutralizing 358 terrorists and arresting 431 suspects. Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, affirmed the commitment of the armed forces to combat terrorism and insurgency across the nation. In addition to the terrorist neutralizations, troops apprehended 59 individuals involved in oil theft and rescued 249 hostages. The military also reported the recovery of 370 weapons and nearly 5,000 rounds of ammunition, including various types of rifles and locally fabricated guns. According to the military, these recoveries are part of a broader strategy to enhance national security and ensure the safety of citizens. And moving on to the foreign scene, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is set to meet with Panamanian officials tomorrow in his first international visit since taking office. The Panama Canal, a crucial global trade route, is at the heart of discussions. President Donald Trump has voiced concerns over Chinese influence on the canal and seeks to reassert U.S. control.
Panama has been managing the canal for the past 25 years without any problems, more efficiently than it was handled before. It's been part of Panama's identity.
January the 1964, when a group of Panamanian students came here to Panama, that
of the
Hundreds of students in Serbia have begun a two-day protest march from the capital Belgrade to the country's second largest city, Novi Sad. Their demonstration follows the resignation of the Prime Minister after months of unrest. But protesters argue that deeper reforms are needed, accusing the government of corruption and incompetence. They demand accountability and systemic change. The march reflects growing dissatisfaction among Serbia's youth who are calling for a more transparent and just government. Autobot Jean reports.
The protests have gone on for weeks, blocking roadway and bridges, spreading city by city across the country. They were triggered by the November collapse of the railway station roof in the city of Novi Sad, killing 50 people. Shoddy construction was suspected and a shady building contract with a Chinese consortium. It was mainly students that took to the streets, first demanding transparency and accountability. The crowds quickly grew until 100,000 people gathered in Belgrade on December 22nd. They had evolved into a broad coalition of civic groups and interests, including teachers and judges. Some were opposed to what they say are the authoritarian tendencies of President Alexander Vucic's government. Others simply want government ministers and ministries to do their jobs.
Simply put, now people are waking up. It is no longer just students who are showing their dissatisfaction, but also other social groups, the young and old, in-school children.
We are not asking for the resignations of officials, but instead to fulfill our demands, that this state truly becomes a state of law instead of a police state, and that we turn an autocracy into a democracy.
Earlier this week, the Prime Minister resigned, but that is unlikely to be enough. Rare power they know belongs to the President, and Vucic may now decide to call an early election. The protesters' efforts, meanwhile, are now increasingly focused on him, and they vow to continue. Autobot Jim, Osrc News.
To end the OSRC News at 7, another look at the major stories. The Ondo State Election Petitions Tribunal has commenced its inaugural sitting, addressing petitions filed by three major political parties: the Social Democratic Party, the People's Democratic Party, and the African Democratic Congress. Ondo State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa has expressed confidence in the Governorship Election Petition Tribunal to serve justice. The National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives has embarked on an indefinite strike which has left patients and their relatives reeling from the impact. The Ondo State government has described the strike as baseless following earlier talks with the union on its demands and urged the nurses to return to their duties. We told you that the Kaduna State Governor Obasani has released 548 million naira to the Nigerian Union of Teachers Enroll Fund, resolving a long-standing industrial dispute with the union. The fund was withheld by the previous administration. And from the foreign scene, we informed you that U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is set to meet with Panamanian officials in his first international visit since taking office. President Donald Trump has voiced concerns over Chinese influence on the canal and seeks to reassert U.S. control. And that's it on the Osrc News at 7. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.